Well, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
We're there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Well,
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, have we discovered an 8th continent? And why are airlines starting to weigh passengers? And are you a BTS fan? Well, now you can eat just like them. And why is Walmart sending you racist emails? All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you hot? Jesus. We have not had a drop of rain out here where we broadcast from. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. For those of you who don't know, we have 22 some odd acres here. We have horses. We have a little bit of cattle, some chickens and dogs and cats, barn cats. Everyone's got barn cats. If you got a barn, you got barn cats. But we have not had a drop of rain and in the last 9 days, and it is hot. And you know, you're probably saying, well, don't tell me. I know, I'm living it right now. Now, I'm a Florida boy, born and raised, but the heat here in North Carolina is a different heat. You know, they say like in the West, it's a dry heat. Like you don't sweat as much. Florida has humidity. Here in North Carolina, I think the humidity is double because the trees and the topography of the land doesn't allow for like sea breezes or any kind of breeze to flow over the land. You know, you might be hot and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's a little bit of a breeze there. Not North Carolina. Nope, not in these rolling hills and things that we have going on here. So I stand by my statement. I've said this millions of times before. It is hotter here in North Carolina than it is in Florida. Now, my wife is now coming back from Florida. My wife spent about 7 days down there. One of her nieces graduated from college, and then one of her other nieces, same family, had a birthday down there. So she went down there. It was like a double trifecta or something. So she hasn't seen him in a while. The youngest niece had a birthday, and the oldest, or the middle niece, graduated from college, which was great. She drove down there. Well, you know where that leaves me, and you guys know this. I was left bacheloring myself out. But here's the thing. I didn't really get a chance to bachelor myself out because there was so much stuff going on. I don't know if she secretly planned this, but I had to take the horses to the vet. And then we had, I had to take the dogs to the vet. I had vets coming out to see the horses. I had all this stuff. We were out of this. We were out of that. So I had to make a couple supply runs. I had to go get hay. I had to go get, it's a never ending battle here on the property. And when I say never ending battle, God forbid anything ever happens to my wife and I have to manage this place by myself. I can take every TV that I have in this household and just throw it out the window because I'm not going to be able to see it. I'm not going to be able to watch TV. I'm not going to be able to play my video games. I'm not going to be able to take the couches. Might as well throw those out too. Just bring the cattle and everything right here in the house because it's from sun up to sundown that I've got to take care of things here on the property. Now, I'm not saying I'm swinging a hammer for the whole entire time, but in general, there's always something to do. When I say always something to do, it's like, okay, I got to wait. You know, everything's on a time schedule. I got to do this, got to do that anyway. So heaven forbid, I got to do this by myself for a long time and, you know, something happens anyway. So I don't want to get into that, but I can. I realize that it takes 2 people to run this property and 2 people that are eligible or able to run the property. You know, someone to jump on the tractor, someone to physically pick up bales of hay and do all that stuff. So she's back. Thank God she's back. She drove back up from Florida. It's 8 hours door to door. And I never understood people that would do something like this. And she does this a lot. Not that it's bad. It's just, it's a different breed of people. I'm like, okay, what are you doing on Monday? Well, I'm going to get up and then there's a small little birthday lunch party around 12. And then we're getting our nails done at 2. And then I'll be on the road by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What? No. When you're that far away, you're 4 states away. Get up, get in your car first thing in the morning and get home. She's always like, you know, I'll drive a couple hours and then, you know, I'll take a break and I'll try to make it home. I never understood people that kind of left in the middle of the day. Like you go see someone or do something and then you're like going, all right, well, let's turn around and head back home. It's a weird phenomenon that we had a discussion about. And so it just struck me as weird. But one thing is, now that she's back home, you know, she was telling me all the stories about everything that went on while she was down in Florida and catching up with her nieces. Now, her youngest niece is now 18, I believe. 18? Yeah, 18, because she's still in high school. She's graduating from high school. The middle niece just turned 21, trouble. And then the oldest niece, there's 3 daughters, or 3 in-law daughters. Wow, math there. And the oldest one is 24, 25, 26. She passed the bar. She's doing great. Everyone's got their own thing going on, but they're all 18 to 26 years old. So, of course, when you have a party for girls that are 18 to 26 years old, everyone at the party is 18 to 26 years old, and they're all doing the college stuff and the high school stuff. And Amy, who's, if I will admit, is a lot younger than I am. She is a lot younger than I am. She wants to hang with them now. Now, when I say hang, we're not big partiers here on the French. We got too much stuff to do. We got too much responsibilities. But when you let go of the tether and let the tether run free, which she was doing down there, which is fine. She deserves it. She can do it all day long for all I care. Won't last long if she does it all day long. I think she would fail before anything. But she went down there and she's like, you know, we were doing shots. We were drinking. I start out, you know, you always start out slow. Start out with what you know. I'm going to drink this all night long. I'm going to sip it because I don't want to get out of control. I'm the ant. I don't want to be out of control. 2 glasses later, you're like, well, what are the kids drinking? You know, I'm drinking this old lady drink. And what are the kids drinking? Oh, you're doing a fudge mountaintop olive creamsicle shot? Well, let me try it. Your inhibition's lower. 4 hours later, she's playing beer pong. She's drinking White Claws. You know, she's doing beer funnels. She's drinking all these things that she's never had before. So I called her when she had that little party going on. I said, you know, good morning. Usually call her right around 9 o'clock. Good morning. What's wrong? Babe, you okay? Hold on. Get the cat turds out of my mouth. Oh, I'm not 22 anymore. I'm like, oh, babe, what happened? What'd you do, babe? Oh, well, I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be the cool aunt. I wanted to do all the stuff. I go, babe, I know. It's okay. You're coming home in a couple days. Drink lots of water, eat some Chinese food, and you'll be fine. But she got home, and she's like going, I said, did you embarrass yourself? That's the most... No, I didn't embarrass myself. But I just realized that the older you get, of course, the turnaround time for that takes a little bit longer for you. And I go, I understand, babe. I said, that's why I'm a professional. I know my limits. And I say professional. You know, I know when to start, when to stop, and go, okay. So she said, oh, my God, I'm never going to touch that again. And then, of course, she followed up by, this time I mean it. So she did fine. They had a good time. She came back home. She stopped at her, she drove by through Jacksonville, saw a friend of hers in Jacksonville, stopped and had lunch, which, again, one of those things, you know, you want to get home. I'm like, I know, babe, but you need to stop by and see your friend. I want to get home. I said, babe, stop and see your friend. You haven't seen her in a while. And she's like, thank you for making me stop. She's like, I had a great time with her. We spent about an hour together, and then I got back on the road, and then now she's home. Now she's home, and I kept the kitchen clean as much as possible. We have 37 forks in our fork drawer for whatever reason, and I use one. I wash it when I'm done, and I put it back on the counter. When she's home, by the end of the week, I've got no forks. So she gets back home, and I'm like, all right, here we go. She grabs a fork, does something with it, sits on the counter, and then she goes to eat, and she grabs another fork out of the drawer and starts eating dinner that we made. I'm like going, love you, babe. I'm glad you're home. I'm glad you're home. All right, big show, big show for you today. Stick around. We'll dive into the show here in a little bit. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Yo sé que tú me quieres tocar, yo sé que tú me quieres besar, yo sé, quiero contigo beber.
You're listening to Royal X with his latest song, Yo Sé. You can find him on Instagram at RoyalXMusic1.
And now it's time for Lessons Learned with
Jason.
Jesus Christ, Jay.
Howell.
We interrupt this program to bring you a news bulletin.
I'm a grown-ass man.
Jason Howell.
Jason Howell.
That's great. Now I got to babysit you?
Because the only night they go out as a whole year.
I've been there, done that.
Ooh, I've never been out before. Now I'm at a bachelor party. I'm going to get fucking stupid and retarded.
Hundreds of women.
Nah, if you want to do it.
Do that? No, I'm not doing that.
Ooh, we're going to titty bar like I'm 10 years old.
Hundreds of women.
But yeah, they're going to serve me with shots and let me get the T-shirt.
Let me get this and that. Let me get
jail.
Oh, yeah, we got a hotel because we're fucking wilding out for one night out of the year because we never go out.
This is about what's going to happen.
Prophet Radio. Prophet Radio.
You're listening to
This is between me and that
DeaconLive.
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 That filthy cheap slut.
DeaconLive now presents you Naluma with her latest song, Remember the Taste. All the way from Detroit, if you combine Cher and Lady Gaga and morphed into one package, you have Naluma. For more information, go to ProphetRadio.com. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on the social contact section, and you can follow us, all the stuff that links us to you and you to us as well. Oh, my light's falling down over there. I have to fix that probably next break. And while you're there, you want some free swag? Everyone wants free something, right? So fill out the little form there for some free swags. We got some magnets, we got some stickers. Pick out what package you want, and we'll mail them out to you as well. Now, something that's being mailed out to a lot of Kia owners is a recall letter. And when I say a recall letter, it's not a recall letter that you want to get. Kia has issued a second recall for roughly 440,000 cars and SUVs amid fire engine damage. The risk is very strong, the South Korean automaker tells the customers to park their vehicles right now outside and away from structures. The total recall covers the Optima sedans from 2013 to 2015 and the Sorento SUVs from 2014 to 2015. So if you have one of these cars and if you haven't gotten a letter from them, make sure you take it to your dealership and make sure that your car doesn't explode, the engine doesn't explode and catch on fire. So that's your Kia recall there. Now, people that are exploding right now, a lot of you don't know that, well, let's phrase it this way. Here in the United States, we've been around since what, 1776. Of course, over times and changes, there are still forgotten laws that are still on the books. Now, I know there was a big bust in, I believe, North Carolina. And for those of you who don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. But there was a big, let's phrase it this way. Since Epstein's been caught, the whole child sex trafficking, child trafficking, and all that stuff has been showing up more and more in the headlines. Now, for what you don't know is a lot of states have marriage laws that are still on the books to where you can get married if you're under a certain age. And it's legal. It's perfectly legal. And this report right here is eye-opening. I didn't know this. Here in North Carolina, we have one of the lowest ages for a child to get married. And I'm going to play this video. Now, for every podcast that we do, we have a matching video as well. You can see us here in the studio. You can see me sweating a little bit. I think the high temperature is about 92 today. But if you want to see the video in real time as we're talking about it, go to ProphetRadio.com, click on Deacon Live, and you can see this as well. So here is the news article about the laws that were just revamped here in North Carolina.
On a centuries-old issue that is still happening across the United States, child marriage. Yes, child marriage. Most states allow marriage before a person turns 18. It's only illegal in 4 states, and 2 of them, Pennsylvania and Minnesota, just banned the practice this month. According to data from UnchainedAtLast.org, a group combating forced and child marriage in the U.S., hundreds of thousands of children were legally married since the year 2000. News Nation's Ashley Ketz has a closer look at this issue tonight.
It's a topic that's fueled debate among policymakers and people across America.
When I talk about this issue, invariably somebody says, child marriage, is that a thing? Well, it is, and it is a problem.
We don't even let people take a drink until they're 21. We're going to let them get married when they're 16? It just doesn't make any sense.
The organization Unchained at Last just released a new study funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which found nearly 300,000 children under the age of 18 were legally married between 2000 2000 and 2018.
Now, there's a lot going on there in the Bill and Melinda Gates, now that they're divorced, and Bill Gates was supposedly on Epstein's plane, but that's a whole topic in itself.
Minnesota, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware are the only states where 18 is the legal age to get married. In 10 states, the legal age is 17. In 21 states, you have to be 16. In 3 states, 15. And in 2 states, just 14. One of those states is North Carolina, where a bill to raise the age to 16 just passed the Senate last week.
And the other state is Alaska, which I don't know if it's because of their Samoan or what's the nationality of people that are up there. They might have to marry at 14 years old. It's kind of like kids going to work in the fields. You always had big farm family, had a lot of kids to help bring in the crops and stuff. Have some more kids so we have some more hands here on the field. Maybe that's what's going on up in Alaska. But yeah, North Carolina, the age was 14 years old to get married, and now they just recently bumped it up to 16. Now, I know at the age of 14, are you thinking marriage? I mean, how many people? They said over 300,000 between 2000 and 2018 people under the age of 18 were getting married. Are they forced marriages? Like, hey, shotgun wedding. If you don't know what a shotgun wedding is, hey, you knocked up my daughter. Now you got to make her honest, you don't want a bastard child coming into the world. But I mean, at 14, how long is that? I mean, here we are in 2021, and the age of 14 has been on the North Carolina books for how long? How long has that been on the books? Well, since probably the nation was formed back in 1776. So at 14, do you have the mental capacity now? Even 10 years ago. Think of what you were doing when you were 14 years old. I like playing with Legos and skateboarding and drinking NyQuil to get a little buzz and staying up late at night and watching David Letterman. That's me at 14. That was me at 14 years old. That's all I wanted to do. You ask a little boy at 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, you like girls? No, they're gross. They're cooties. It's on the books. And some people, I don't know if they force them into marriage, but the stories are coming out now that they're releasing or clamping down on the human trafficking. 14 years old, that's real young to get married. Real young to get married. All right, when we come back, a bunch of the show is left. Don't worry, we're going to dive into a whole bunch of stuff. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. You're listening to Key Beats with his latest song, Champion. Make sure you check out his latest album called Grindball.
Prophet Radio has asked you to like our page.
What am I supposed to do?
Hell yes.
Prophet Radio has asked you to like our page.
You want me to...
I accept them.
We at Prophet Radio would love for you to like our page.
What? Facebook?
Cool. Got that one too. Yes, I'm good.
We at Prophet Radio.
Yeah, I accept that one too.
Would love for you.
Holy Christ.
To like
honey,
this is awesome.
page.
This is awesome.
What?
This is awesome.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay, got it. Oh, shit. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Prophet Radio.
Always seems to find you. What you want, you don't need, 'cause she locked you down. So why you been?
Deacon Live now presents you Girl Pal Way with their latest song, Body Unfroze.
Body unfroze. I don't feel nothing that they say. I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't. Body unfroze. I don't feel nothing that they say.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget all the artists that you hear on Deacon Live. They are independent artists, unsigned artists, or artists from independent labels. Make sure you go to ProphetRadio.com, PROPHET Radio. Click on their little logos and show them some love as well. Now, speaking of showing some people some love, now here on the Franch, we have 22 some odd acres. We have horses. We have a couple heads of cattle. We have a bunch of chickens, cats, and dogs as well. Now, our chickens, they are friendly. We can pick them up. They're free range. They've probably got maybe a 400 by 400 square foot pen that they can kind of run around in. We have about 92 chickens out there, and that's plenty of room for them to run around. And we throw them some compost, and they love digging through it and eating all the little buggies and all that stuff. And then we can pick them up and, pet them and stuff. They're like pets. They're animals. We don't have names for all of them, but for the most part, they're pets. They're very friendly. We can touch them, pet them, pick them up. There's some that are a little skitty and some that want you to pick them right up. But the CDC right now is issuing a warning to remind people not to kiss or snuggle their backyard poultry due to a salmonella risk. Now, I know that's going to be hard to tell my wife not to pick them up. Officials with the Center of Disease Control and Prevention warn that people to wash their hands after touching backyard poultry as they investigate this multi-state salmonella outbreak. Now, we just got another herd of chickens. We have probably 3 flocks out there right now, and we just got another flock that we just purchased, and they're all migrating together, and they're doing their thing. They're old enough to where they can run around and stuff. Officials say they are investigating 163 salmonella cases in 43 states, which appear to be linked to backyard poultry. The illness has led to 34 hospitalizations. Officials warn people that can get sick by touching backyard poultry or anything of their environment. Now, I've got to go out there, clean chicken coops, and change their water and change their food. It's disgusting. Sometimes they just poop in their food, only because that they sit up on top. Anyone that has chickens know they sit up on top and just kind of poop right down in their little food bin and stuff. Further, officials say eggs should be collected often and cracked eggs should be tossed out as yeah, we do that all the time. Don't kiss or snuggle backyard poultry. Don't eat or drink anything around them. Too late, I drink beer around them. Sometimes they give it to them and they have a great time. Symptoms of salmonella include diarrhea, cha-cha-cha, fever, stomach cramps, and most people recover without treatment about 4 or 5 days after they've come in contact with them. So it's not life-threatening or anything, but they're just letting you know if you feel a little queasy, feel a little, oh my God, what's going on? That's what it is. Just don't touch your backyard chickens. Get your hands off my cock. Now, growing up, this is the end of the year, and a lot of people are graduating from high school, and a lot of people are moving on. They're going to college and stuff. One of the things that a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers look for is their yearbook. Their yearbook pictures, and they want to see how they looked. And I never understood, like, your senior pictures, everyone had to dress up in, like, suits and ties. I never understood that. You want to look the best you can in senior photos? No, it's just ridiculous for me. Just be a senior. Be a senior. No, that's a senior class. You have to have this type outfit. You have to get your pictures done. That's the weirdest thing. You have to go to, like, at the time, what was it, in the mall. What was the name of the place where everyone got where you took the picture with the thumb on your chin, and you're like, hey, whatever it is, and you had to get your pictures done professionally and turn them in for your senior class. Who started that crap? That's a money rake in itself. Well, unfortunately, this school right here, a Florida high school. Now, I'm Florida, born and raised. I was born in Central Florida, just outside of downtown Orlando. Went to Weingard Elementary, went to, let's see, where'd I go? Walker Middle School before it was it was Walker Junior High before it was a middle school, Oak Ridge High School, and then Valencia, and then on to UCF. So I'm educated throughout the Central Florida area. Florida high school photoshops mere hints of cleavage out of girls' yearbook pictures. Can you imagine that? You're a girl, you're coming of age. What's a freshman year, right? Freshman year, you're from 14, if you're not married, in North Carolina, if you're not married, and now you're 15, 16 years old, and you're starting to develop. You're starting to get that. You're starting to turn into a woman. And you just have what they consider school-appropriate clothing. Well, this high school right here, let me find out the high school so I can blast them. You can blast them too if you want. They start editing the cleavage. And when I say cleavage, they're not walking around with friggin' string top zip line bikini tops on. They're wearing a nice blouse with a blazer. I almost called blazer. All right, here we go. Let's see. One Florida high school. Girls aren't supposed to have anything of the slightest hint of cleavage. In St. Johns County, Florida, the yearbook came out riddled with alterations blatantly and in many cases clumsily. Bad photoshops. So, for example, if a girl had a black shirt on, they just kind of did the whole paint and spray on the... You ever done Photoshop, little photo editing? Right across her breast. And you can see this video if you go to profitradio.com, click on DeaconLive. So, of course, they blew the girl's face. It's horrible. It was done, schools official says, by the yearbook's faculty advisor, who deemed the photos were not in line with the school's dress code. Bullshit. Some of the photos were apparently altered to strip out any sexuality. The effect on female teens themselves, it was very, very demeaning for the girls. You know, here I am coming into, now they're being shamed because their breasts are a little bit larger. And they even got more ridiculed since then. Let's see what the name of the high school was. 80 photos in general were edited. I think this sends a message to that our girls should be ashamed of their growing bodies, is what one mother said. Normally, this is it. Bartram Trail High School previous procedure was not to include the student's picture in the yearbook if deemed in violation of the student code of conduct. You imagine that? You go get your picture taken, you're a freshman, junior, senior, or whatever. You get your picture taken, and then you pay for the yearbook, and you open the yearbook. Guess what? Joseph Smith or Josephina, you can't label anyone anymore. I'm scared to say that. Josephina Smith or whatever, you're not in the yearbook. I should be right behind Tommy Smith, and no, you're out of the yearbook. So I just spent, how much is the yearbook now? I think mine were like $54 some odd, and you're done. That's it. You pay for the yearbook. I would throw that book right through the principal's office window. How dare you? Right? Wouldn't you be pissed? Now, I know in high school, one of my quote-unquote stoner friends, they passed around, this is way before computers. Way before. We're chiseling stuff on rocks. This is way before you could have computers in the classroom. You had a computer lab, and then that was it. You didn't have computers in the classroom like they do today. And they would pass around a sheet of paper, and they would say, list all the activities that you've done while here in high school for our senior class. You filled it out. So this guy, Burnout, one of those guys, that you see on the movies that they make fun of, he went through and said, debate club 1, 2, and 3. Honors, whatever. No, he didn't say honors. He said, Spanish 5, 6, and 7. All these different accolades and stuff. And he didn't attend a single one. Oh, I was in the cheerleading squad. I was the captain of the cheerleading. And they printed it. They printed it into the thing. I think his name was Jeff. I don't want to say Jeff Collins. It might have been Jeff Collins. I might have to reach out to him and see. But he wrote all this stuff that he was in, like, debate team. He was in the drama club. He was in the band. What are the other? He was in choir. 5, 6, they have different levels. He wrote all that stuff in the yearbook. They printed it. They didn't even check it. Didn't even fact check it. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff. Mine never got printed. They were like, we know who you are, Deacon. You were not in math league. You were not in the debate club. And I was like, damn it. Tried to do the same thing. Didn't work. Now, when you were in high school, even the early days of schooling, you were taught certain things, right? There was like the basic stuff. There's 9 planets. Sometimes they say there's 10. Sometimes there's 7. They can't make up their mind what the planets are. My mind is a total wash as far as the planets can go. If it's a big rock out there and it's spinning around us, fine, no problem. Does it run on our planet? I don't care. So one of the things they teach you are the 7 continents. Do they still teach that? Do you know the 7 continents here on our planet, Earth, this planet that we're currently living on? Pretty soon we're going to have to memorize planet or continents that are over on Mars here. Once they start exploring that and developing that and exploiting everything that's going on over there, we'll have to learn all that shit as well. So the 7 continents here in the planet we call Earth is what? North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. And of course, we all know all the oceans and stuff. There was explorers that actually were sent down to Australia to make sure, and this is way back in the 1600s, and I'll go bore you with all that, but they went down there. It's expensive to go down there. When you leave England, going down to Australia, it's a lot of money. They said, fuck this, we're going the other way. We're going to the United States. We'll find them and rape and pillage the land that we now call the United States. So in Australia, they discovered Australia. That was no big deal. It was a big flat piece of land. They said, all right, that's this cool. We'll call it Australia. And then they started driving around in their boats around Australia, and they came across New Zealand. Boom. Oh, my God, what's this? Another island. Oh, my God, here's New Zealand. Great. And they kind of look from the boats, and they go, well, here's an island. They look across to the left, and they go, well, there's Australia. Well, let's just make this part of Australia. And everyone said, fine, no problem. Sign here on the dotted line. Australia, you now own New Zealand. Great. They went on about their day. Now, with the evolution of time and space, everything that we're shooting up into our atmosphere, we're able to take better pictures of our planet. Google Map, Google Earth, Google Sky, all these different things that we can explore our world that we live in based on satellite pictures and everything that goes with it. They are now coming across that New Zealand is not necessarily as small as we think it is. Sometimes when we see islands like Japan and the Hawaiian Islands are based on volcanoes. New Zealand now is what they consider our 8th continent. Well, Deacon, how can that be? Well, we have satellites that actually comb over the planet, our planet, which is flat. You know, they just sit there and like a needle on a record. The planet just spins around and just waits for it. And then when, this is my part. This is my part. Here comes Australia. Australia comes around. This is my jam right here. And then you come across New Zealand. Satellites taking pictures, it works on a density of the planet. So they can see like the crust and the thickness of the density of the land underneath the water. So this landmass underneath New Zealand is almost as large as Australia. Now, granted, you can talk about global warming, you can talk about flat Earth, you can talk about all that stuff. But if you look at it, it is large. And they've called it Zealandia. Am I saying that right? Zeal, Zealandia. Zealandia is technically, well, I say technically, it has a large enough mass to be considered a continent. Unfortunately, about 85% of the land is underneath water. Now, I'm sure at one time, if you ever seen the evolution, there's a video of an evolution of the way the planets drift, the continental drift. Part of this was probably part of Australia, and this sunk down. I know. I don't want to go back to school, Deacon. I'm out of school. I want to get drunk and party. Well, listen, this is what's going on. This is what the news is talking about. So Zealandia is part of New Zealand, and it's underneath the water surface. So there you go. So if everyone says, if you're at the bar, now that you're over 18 or over 21, you can drink. Someone says something about the 7 continents. You go, oh, actually, there's 8 continents. And then you've got something to talk about at the dinner table. All right, so there you go. A little bit of beef from a little bit of info from the Deacon to you. Enjoy that. All right, we come back. Let me see where we're at here. Do you know who BTS is? If you're a big BTS fan, McDonald's has a brand new meal based on them. And I'll dive into that here when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. You're listening to Nam Patnan Nonkai with her latest song, Old Butterfly. For more information, go to ProphetRadio.com.
I do not like internet radio.
Prophet Radio. Prophet Radio.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about right there. I'm talking shit. I'm talking about selling used ukuleles. I'm talking about getting myself a fucking double quarter pounder up there at the McDonald's that I globally position myself to sell nothing to anybody. Ever. And 20-piece nuggets by the crate.
Fucking crate.
This is what's happening in your world tonight.
407-448-8800.
8800.
Yeah. Young Dior.
After traveling the world and being inspired by Mac Miller and Eminem, 18-year-old Young Dior has his latest song out called Heart on His Sleeve. For more information, go to ProphetRadio.com.
Hey. I wear my heart on my sleeve, that's an issue. People asking me what the fuck is up with you. I'm go Super Saiyan like I'm Goku. One click on your bitch like Roku. People doubt on me, one beef. Tell me to meet them in the streets. I'm not trying to have no beef, I just wanna be in the industry. Yeah. Lot of J, yeah. Chillin', lot of J, I don't even know where I'm going anymore. I'm just trying to flow in. Young Dior, I just have.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd like for you to be part of the show, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the Be Heard little blue bar at the very bottom right-hand side of the page. Opens up a microphone. You have to allow it to open up a microphone. On your smartphone, your tablet, wherever you're listening to us from or watching us from, click on that on the Prophet Radio Radio website. Leave a message, comes right to our inbox here, and we'll play it on the episode or the very next episode as well. So in this world, speaking of modern technology, you can sit here and be on part of the show on a podcast. We have the Ring cameras. Those have been a lifesaver in many, many different forms. We also have DoorDash. DoorDash has saved a lot of people a lot of time during this whole pandemic. And the two of those by themselves are great. They work well for what they do. Unfortunately for this woman, the combination of both of those did not work in her favor. A woman shares her Ring doorbell footage of a bizarre encounter with a delivery driver, asking why would she do that? The woman is going viral after sharing her Ring camera footage on a bizarre run-in with a delivery driver. She has posted this video on TikTok, and what's happened is she has gone out to meet the delivery driver for her food. And in the process, In the process, she tripped on the curb and fell face first onto the concrete into a puddle. So the DoorDash driver is coming up with her food, sets it by her, laying on the ground, and takes a picture to confirm delivery. Now, if you want to see this video, go to ProfitRadio.com, click on DeaconLive, and we'll have this video posted up here shortly. So here you go. Here's a video. It's a rainy day. The streets looks like it's nice and flooded, and this Ring camera is awfully high in the air. Nonetheless, so she falls face first. Bam! Oh, I feel so stupid. Here comes the DoorDash driver. Here's your food, ma'am. Takes a picture of it as she's laying on the floor. Here you go. Proof of delivery. I'll play it one more time for you. Bam! Face first. Oh, I feel like an idiot. Laying on the wet concrete floor. Hey, thank you. Put it next to my Land Rover, please. No, I'll take a picture of you laying on the floor, you dummy. So she ordered food out and had it delivered to her house, which is great. A lot of people couldn't do that. Now, McDonald's, the fast food giant, created what's the guy's name? Hold on. Now, McDonald's has made a killing with the Travis Scott meal. Now, if you don't know what the Travis Scott meal, now he's a famous rapper, famous artist, very good, like his work, does really, really good stuff. But his meal was basically a quarter pounder with bacon, some fries, and barbecue sauce with a medium Sprite. That was his thing that he got all the time. So McDonald's says, you know what? We'll make that a meal. Come in and ask for the Travis Scott meal. They ran out of meat. And they ran out of bacon during that whole promotion. So they're like, I think we got something here. Let's take our normal everyday stuff, label it as something rare, twist it up a little bit, and then sell it to the public. The South Korean group, BTS, has now joined on that same bandwagon. McDonald's announces that they have a new celebrity meal in collaboration with BTS. Fans are going to be excited about the mega popular K-pop group with this new meal coming in the United States. Now, it's only available on your app, so when you go to McDonald's.com, it's actually releasing today. May 26th, it's releasing today. The new menu item, named after the South Korean pop band, will be available through the McDonald's app only. Judging by the way the chain rolled out its own chicken sandwich in February, the meal will likely roll out to restaurants later on that day. Besides, the fans will also get exclusive content through the app. So if you sign up, you get exclusive content. You can see this dreamy boy right here who's on BTS. I have no idea who the BTS guy. I mean, I know who they are. I don't know their names. We know as far as that the BTS meal will include, here we go. This is what it includes. 10-piece order of chicken McNuggets with 2 exclusive dipping sauces that were not previously available on the American menus. One is the Cajun sauce. The other one is the sweet chili sauce, inspired by the McDonald's South Korea. Both feature different levels of heat. It also comes with medium fries and a medium Coke. All right, so let's see. So you're getting a thing of chicken McNuggets with 2 sauces that were not available in the United States at any time. They must have had like leftovers over in South Korea. Medium fry, medium Coke, but you put the label BTS on it, it's going to fly. Everyone's going to go, I want it. I don't know, you know what a Cajun spicy sauce is. 14-year-olds with their husbands running around. I want a chicken McNugget meal. I hope it's all white meat. I don't even care. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on just with that meal. It's crap. I don't want to say it's crap. It's crap. It's crap. You know what? Who am I to say? I'm old man yelling on the porch is what I'm doing. It's great. It's getting McDonald's out there. It's getting BTS out there. Is it BTS? I don't want to say, what's the serial killer? Yeah, BTS. Sorry. I don't want to confuse the two. So that's what they're doing at McDonald's. They're making a killing. So who's making the money? Who's making the McDonald's is making the money and BTS is making the records. So it should be good. I'm interested to see what happens in the next 30 days. days if they run out of Chicken McNuggets. Not only because of it being Chicken McNuggets or being chicken in general, because of the chicken shortages that we're having here in the United States altogether. The Tyson plants are running up short. The Pilgrim plants are running up short. So when I say Pilgrim, like Pilgrim chickens, we live in Marshville. There's chicken houses all over the place. Chicken wings were on a shortage for a while. Chicken sandwiches were being on a shortage for a while. This will come to show you if the Chicken McNuggets are actually what they call quote-unquote chicken, quote-unquote nuggets. See if there's a shortage on there. I think someone posted a video many years ago saying it was this big slurry and it was pink. It was a big pink slurry, and they were saying, like, this is what Chicken McNuggets are. This is the filling, and once it cooks, it turns to white. It's kind of like when you paint your ceiling with ceiling paint. It's pink when it goes on the ceiling and then turns white, so you can see where you painted and not painted. Maybe it's the same thing with the Chicken McNuggets. We're going to see if there's a shortage of Chicken McNuggets because of the ordering or because of the chicken shortage itself. I think I ran into the record just now of saying chicken so many times in the last 4 minutes. All right, there you go. Another record that we have all hit is how fat we're getting. Oh yeah. The average weight of a human 30 years ago, of course, has different from what we are now. And planes are adjusting to that. When I say planes, I'm talking about if you want to go flying, if you want to travel. Planes are adjusting to our new body mass. And I'll dive into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Along with being an avid sailor, Gabriel Patrici composes music. This is his latest song called So In Need.
Prophet Radio. Prophet Radio.
Where's my swag? Where's my swag? Where's my cricket swag?
You're listening to
Deacon Live.
Deacon Live. Deacon Live now presents to you Victoria's Sunshine from a 1923 opera song. We have turned this into an upbeat song for 2021. For more information, go to prophetradio.com to hear about this talented artist.
The love I'll offer you is not a toy, and every heart is hurt, both boy and girl.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the social contacts, and if you want some free swag, everyone likes something for free. And we've got a whole bunch of sticker packets up there and magnet packets up there. Just click on one of those. Tell us where you're at, and we'll ship them out to you. Unfortunately, all our friends across the seas and stuff, we only do one shipment every 2 months, and that goes out. We like to package them all up, 500-600 at a time, and ship them out. So you might have to wait a little bit longer for you guys overseas, but I apologize. They will they will get there, believe me. Now, over in Italy, where our friend David Annabali, good friend of ours here at the station, over in Italy, in Rome, a cable car taking visitors to the mountaintop view in some of northern Italy's most picturesque lakes plunged to the ground this past Saturday, killing 12 people and sending 2 children to the hospital, authorities said. Rescue crews were continuing to search the area, given that there was a possible 15th person. Now, at the location, it's about 100 meters before the final pylon. So there's a long distance between, when you get on a cable car. You ever been on a cable car before? They're scary as hell. You're looking at that thing and you're like going, that little rope, that little wire, that little ounce of thread up there is holding us up here. Yeah, and then you transfer. That's the thing. When you go from pylon to pylon and you transfer and the thing rocks and shifts and stuff, it's scary. Spokesman for the Alpine Rescue Service said that the cable line has been renovated in 2016 and only had been reopened after the coronavirus lockdowns has forced closures on the ski lift across Italy. Sunday was a beautiful sunny day in the area. The car reached heights of almost 4,900 feet in the air, overlooking several picturesque lakes and surrounding Alps in Italy's Piedmont region. The spokesperson said 15 people were believed to be on the cable car at the time, and the exact number was uncertain, but they found 12 passed away dead and 2 children were seriously contained and going to the Turin hospital over in Italy. So this thing was up in the air. They shut it down for a while during the coronavirus. They had they had time to sit there and run safety inspections and stuff. I guess they didn't do it. Now, Italy, unfortunately, I hate to say this, there was a couple bridges that have collapsed due to lack of maintenance. There was a bridge over, I'm not sure where it was, in 2018 and killed 34 people. So their infrastructure, Italy needs to kind of step it up a little bit. I don't want to badmouth or shame Italy, but that's what's going on. Now, if you want to fly over to Italy or fly anywhere in general, they say the whole COVID-19, like the freshman 15, you put on 15 pounds your freshman year in college. COVID-19, well, the COVID-19 is probably the COVID-38 for some of us. Airlines, now that the airports are being open, airlines are now saying, you know what? Hold on, everyone. Hold on, you big fat fuckers. I know you've been sitting at home waiting to go out and do something and fly and get out of your little dormant lives, your little dormant activities that you've been doing and get across the world. We'd love to have you on, but hold on, we have to change the rules for us. Airlines are now considering weighing passengers before flights as the U.S. obesity rate climbs. The Federal Aviation Administration is concerned that planes may end up being overloaded. I don't know if that's what happened with the cable car, but nonetheless, the industry observers reportedly said that the country's climbing obesity rates have made a number of airlines use for their safety calculations that are all outdated. For example, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, the obesity rate of the United States was at 42% in 2017, and 2018 was the most recent public data available. So we're at 42%, 3 years ago, and then the pandemic hit, and I'm sure that's gone up since then. But here's what drives me insane. So we were talking about earlier about the marriage age is 14 years old in our state, unfortunately, and they bumped that up. In a lot of states, there's a lot of ages that you can get married under the age of 18. These are old laws. These are old rules. The FAA standards increase the weight of an average adult person and the carry-on baggage to 190 pounds in the summer, and in the winter, up to 195 pounds. Do me a favor. Gather up everyone in your neighborhood. Gather up everyone in your business and tell me if the average weight for those people is 190 pounds with luggage. No. So the numbers that they're already doing is way out of proportion. Now, for those of you who don't know, planes in general had, I think there was 85 to 90 seats on the big guys. The 757s, the 777s. There was about 85 to 90 seats. I don't know when the planes came out, but I'm just saying in general. And then all of a sudden they said, well, the average weight of a person is 170 pounds. Let's cut and cram all these seats together. Now, a 767 or a 737 has almost 165 seats on it. 165 seats. Have you been on a plane that's got that many seats? Or 120 on the smaller ones. I'm sorry, I misspoke. 137 or the 737. They have cut and trimmed and crammed and everything in there. So I'm a big guy, all right? I'm a big guy. I'm a 200+ pound big guy. I'm also 6'3". So if you want to argue with me, that's fine. But what I'm saying is they were trying to, at one time it was luxurious. If you could afford to fly on a plane, you got all the room you want. Now that we've made a little bit more money, people want to travel, it's a little bit safer. They said, oh, we can cram more people, another 50, 60 people on this plane and make some more money. But they're using old numbers from back in the day. The average person is not 170 pounds. The average person, in my guess, male and female, probably close to the 200 to 10 poundage. Average. Talking average. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's got goals here. Everyone's got goals. So let's start like this. Let's bump that up a little bit and rip out some of those fucking seats where I'm literally elbows in my ribs sitting on a seat. Let's rip out some of those seats. I don't mind you charge me a little bit more if on basic comfort. Like, what do they call it? Coach? I don't mind paying a little bit more on coach if I can sit in a chair with people that are my size and people that are a little bit on average. But they're weighing planes, or they're weighing you now to make sure they got enough fuel to keep that thing up in the air with your big fat ass. So that's not our fault. That's them. Well, I say it's not our fault. In retro, it's not our fault. They've been using the wrong numbers to assess how much gasoline, how much freight they can put on. I don't know if you know this or not. Some of the planes that fly actually have, either bodies, from funerals. People pass away in one state and they want to bring them down to another state. They also do, I think it's air cargo. There's a lot of stuff that gets shipped through passenger planes and stuff that you don't know about. But yeah, a lot of things are happening there. So now they're going to weigh the passengers. I think what they need to do is adjust the weight of what they consider what an average passenger should weigh and then go from there. So it's not our fault. You dice the plane up into 165 slots and you saying that only people that are 5'2" and weigh 170 pounds can only fit in this plane. Unfortunately, we as human race, we have quote unquote evolved, if you believe in that, into a larger species and a bigger species. And you need to make some planes big enough to accommodate that. Don't penalize me for it. That's where I'm going with that. All right, when we come back, everyone's favorite town killer, Walmart, has been sending out some very, very bad, what do you call them, nasty grams to people. They're wondering where it's coming from. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. You're listening to David Adabali, all the way from Italy, a hobbyist pilot by day and a talented composer by night. He has put together EP that's available on Spotify. Make sure you go to ProphetRadio.com. This song is called Serenity.
Internet radio. I do not like internet radio.
Prophet Radio. Prophet Radio.
How's your day going?
It's going good. I didn't watch football for the first time in like 5 years.
That's awesome.
It's not awesome. It sucks. You should give me a raise.
I did.
407 448 8800.
I just realized I had 3 hamburgers. It's insane. That's a lot at 10 o'clock at night.
You're listening to
Excellent.
Deacon Live.
Deacon Live.
Deacon Live.
Good.
Welcome back to Deacon Live.
Now
Make sure you follow us on all your social contacts, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, click on social contacts, and while you're there, get yourself some free stuff, some free swag, and then leave us a message as well. Go to the Be Heard little blue bar, click on that, opens up our microphone, speak right into it, and it comes right here to the podcast and played. Now, playing, I was never a fan of Pokemon cards. Now, they were a big hit for, I think I missed it that time frame. In the 90s, I used to collect baseball cards. I've got, I think, Shaquille O'Neal's rookie card when he was in college. I've got a couple other very valuable cards. And I say valuable, the internet pretty much for the most part killed baseball cards in the 90s because, if a guy in California had a rookie card and there was no internet and the guy in Florida wanted to have that card, of course, every time it crosses the state line, the price increases, 10, 20%. So he's got it in California for $50. By the time it hits Florida, it's $1,000 some odd dollars. Now, the internet has pretty much squashed that. And it's just the amount of valuability as far as availability. But during this whole pandemic, Pokemon cards, depending on what accent you have been just flying off the shelf. There was a story in Target where people were buying the Pokemon cards and got arrested or got attacked out there in the parking lot. So customers are now rushing to the Walmart stores and grabbing all the Pokemon cards as they're being restocked. Earlier this month, Target stopped selling them after a man pulled a gun in the parking lot. Some of the value of the Pokemon cards has skyrocketed since the pandemic started. One rare card is worth $360,000 for one Pokemon card. What are you going to do with that Pokemon card? It's kind of like Well, Deacon, what are you going to do with that Dogecoin you bought? Well, it's kind of, shut up. It's the same thing. It's only as valuable as the person who places value on it. Buy Dogecoin. This segment is sponsored by Dogecoin. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But for the most part, I mean, cryptocurrency, I mean, you only place enough faith and value in what it actually says on the screen that it's worth. For those of you who don't know, our dollar bill has not been backed by metals in a long time. When I say metals, silver and gold. During the Depression, the current president at that time took us off the gold and silver standard. So essentially it says, this is $1, and I'm handing you this dollar, and in good faith, this dollar is valued at whatever we say it's valued at. And we shake hands, we bump fists, and we go on about our day. Now, so Walmart's had this big rush on Pokemon cards. They can't keep them on the shelf because Target refused to sell them anymore. So, of course, you go to the next box store over, and then from there goes down the line. This is where GameStop should jump in and just, because they used to sell Pokemon cards all the time at GameStop. And you know the history behind GameStop and the whole flood in the market with shares and stuff. And it went from 55 cents to $55 a share, so on and so forth. Now, if you've ever bought anything from Walmart online, I'm looking at a 29-inch, like, Land Cruiser type bicycle. You put in your email address. You know, if you got to buy something, you want to check out, and you buy stuff all the time. We do the grocery store pickup sometimes, where you buy all your groceries online. They'll pick it for you in the store, and then you pull up, and they oh, this is all the stuff, and they couple substitutions, and they stick it in your cart. But they've got all your information. Walmart now apologizes to people who have received racist emails. So earlier this week, Walmart would like to apologize to the people who have received emails containing and this is the word I can't use. I've never used this word. I can't use this word. It's horrible. The N word. Earlier messages from the retailer. On Monday, Walmart has said something outside the company. Someone outside the company has created a fake account using email addresses from individuals in question that prompt to an auto-generated email from the company that contained a racial slur. So if you saw this racial slur, it's not from Walmart. They kind of cut and paste and copied the email address and stolen, quote-unquote, all your email accounts and sent it right back to you. So, for example, you ever sign up, they got your email account and you get, hey, this week, 40% off all spring stuff. 30% off all summer wardrobe or anything like that. Those type emails. So what you were getting was these, and if you want to see this, well, I don't know if you want to see it or not. Maybe I won't post that. So what you were getting was, it said, hold on, let me see. I've got the thing here. It says, it's got the Walmart logo on it, the COVID-19, practice safe shopping, and then it says, welcome to Walmart, and as if it was your name, if it said, welcome to Walmart, Deacon, but it's got the N-word in there. So, and it was going out to everyone. We are very sorry that you received this offensive email. The chief customer service officer said, the email to those who have received this message, we are working on updating our account processes to ensure that something like this doesn't ever happen again. Again, we know that the email was sent was appalling, and we strongly believe that the words should never be used. She said, we are looking into available means to hold those responsible accountable. So if you see that in your email address or in your inbox, and it says, welcome to Walmart, and then I'm having welcome to Walmart blank. Just understand that some things were hacked. Now, are you mad because they said they sent you a racial slur in your email? Are you more sad or upset, I should say, not sad, but upset that you got a racial slur in your inbox from Walmart? Or are you sad or upset that your email was stolen? It was hacked from a conglomerate such as Walmart, where you put all your trust into it. You buy diapers for your baby up there. You buy milk and food and camping stuff. You buy all your makeup. You buy all your vitamins and stuff from Walmart. And then that gets hacked? Well, then who's to say that you're not exposed? You're not exposed. So Walmart just basically said, hey, it might be a phishing thing. For example, they send you a link under the Walmart heading, and then you click on it, and then you open it up on your computer or on your smartphone or your tablet, and then all of a sudden they automatically, within seconds, swoop, sucked up all your information. You complain about it. Walmart says we have nothing to do with it, and then, of course, all your information's gone. So that's what it is. So be careful out there when you're looking at that. Now, when we come back, one more story, and we'll let you get back to what you got to do. Now that we've all been released from our homes, we're allowed to go outside without mask on for the most part. We're allowed to go out and explore a little bit more. Everything's opening up to 100%. When we come back, I'll show you a group of animals that feel exactly that explores exactly the way we feel. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget, all the musical artists that you hear on our station is... Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you show all our musical artists during Deacon Live some love, and the way you do that is go to prophetradio.com, click on their little icon, their little logo. Make sure you follow them, share them, and do all the stuff that helps them connect with you and you to them as well. Now, as a child, I went to the doctor regularly. My mom, went to a pediatrician and stuff. And then in my older years, I'm like, Mom, what medicine was I taking? And she's like, I don't know what medicine. I'm like, you're my mom. You're supposed to know what medicine I'm taking. This woman right here, in Sweden, this child was complaining for over a year that he had problems listening or couldn't hear out of one side of his ear. The mom took the 3-year-old to several doctors to find out what was wrong with him. One doctor would say, it's just a wax buildup, and so on and so forth. They saw over 13 doctors. Eventually, one of the doctors that she took him to, for a second and third and fourth and fifth opinion, during one of the visits, doctors often ask the child or the mom to hold the son so they could actually examine his ear properly. He's 3 years old. He's going to, wiggle around and stuff. She said it's very, very difficult, and he'd panic all the time. He's like, all right, well, hold on. Let's give him some anti-anxiety medicine so he can relax and stuff, and relax and let us touch him and don't be scared of us. Eventually, one of the doctors filmed the 3-year-old's ear with a little micro camera and determined that the wax plug that they referred to was not actually a wax plug. So they sent the boy to a local hospital in Sweden and had surgery. Unexpectedly, they removed get ready for this, get ready, I know, a 0.6-inch black mealworm beetle from the boy's ear, which the family brought home in a plastic tube to show everyone. The doctor saved the beetle to show us, so the mom says. My husband, who was there, told me that several doctors came into the room to look at it. No one had ever seen anything like this. After removing the beetles, the doctor said the boy's hearing didn't appear to be affected, but the family still took the the boy to a hearing specialist later on. She's like, I'm so mad that I took all these kids, I took all these appointments with my kid, and no one, is that what's that, healthcare? Is that nationwide healthcare or whatever they call it? They said, the boy's just got a thing in his ear. We, quote unquote, can't make money from him, or whatever the case may be. And so the kid had a mealworm beetle living in his ear for a year. And he's literally, can you imagine a little boy? I can't smash my head. I would take a goddamn pencil and sharpen it up as sharp as I can and stick that thing in there and listen to that crunch. And I'd stab whatever's in there. I would do it. 3 years old? Maybe not 3 years old. It was in there for a year. Maybe at 4 years old I would. And then 10 years later, I'd find my wife. All right, there you go. Now, as pleased as that boy was to get that beetle out of his ear, most of us here in the United States and across the world slowly, but not in the same aspect as us, is getting out and stretching our legs and feeling and going and moving and doing stuff. And it feels great. Now, there's nothing more exciting than getting out and running around and being free again. This farmer in the UK, Farmer Tom Pemberton, it's that time of year in England where he can release his 100 head of cattle out into the grass. Now, for what you don't know is, where he lives at in England, for 6 months out of the year, believe me, I can relate. It's rain, it's snow. The fields are just completely wasted. There's no grass growing, there's no nothing. And then, once the grass starts growing, now he feeds them in their stalls, and he feeds 100 head of cattle. He keeps them, fed and everything with other nutrients and stuff and hay to keep them going, keep the cattle going through these cold winter months. Now that grass is growing on his property, he filmed the actual point where he releases the cows out into the field to run around and enjoy this breath of fresh air as far as getting grass and stuff. If you want to watch this video, I'll post it on the DeaconLive section. So here we go. Oops, let's start over from the beginning. Blow this up.
Tom Pemberton of Tom Pemberton Farm Life says, this is the best day ever. I'm going to say it's just the best day of 2021 so far for his cows.
Cows are inside for 6 months of the year on this farm because it is so wet. If you haven't followed me for the past couple of years, months, you'll know in January, February, winter time, it rains, it's cold, it's horrible. But in summer, it's great. We grow grass and it's amazing.
Ollie, that means in summer it doesn't rain as much in the UK,
Something
right?
I was about to say. It's just less rainy and less cold.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? He wants to have happy cows.
Like I said, the best time of the year, hands down, just because you see how happy the cows are. It's autumn, so without further ado...
So, he's going to show us what it's like to release the cows on the first day he can in spring. First, he's got to go into the shed.
Go on, girl! Go on, girl!
It takes a little bit of coaxing because they have been in there for a while, but this is when he says, time to go.
Go then!
So, now it's time to release the cows.
Right, guys? Ready for the cows to come? 3, 2, 1, let them go.
Here they come. They're running all over. They're running all over. They're jumping around. They're bouncing around like happy cows. They're enjoying it.
Something that has to be taken care of because he wants to make sure that they're grass-fed, but they're not going to stay there overnight for the first few nights. They're going to go back into the shed because it's a little cold, but after that, they're going to be in there full-time. Then he'll be able to actually tear down that shed and improve the area for the cows.
It looks like us. It looks like us walking out into, into the environment. We're kind of like walking randomly in circles and stuff. Hey, are you free? I'm free. And let's get lunch. Let's have some drinks. Let's do all that stuff. All right, guys. Well, on that note, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for listening to us, downloading us. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. Make sure you like all of our musical artists, musical guests that you hear here on Deacon Live. And the way you do that is go to profitradio.com, click on all their little icons, and show them some love as well. On behalf of you guys listening to us, we'd like to thank each and every one of you. My name is the Deacon, saying good night and good night. I don't think this recorded, so bye.